Jai Hind students. Today in standard 6 subject science we will do the revision of unit test second, and this is the revision video number 2. Right. So in the previous video we have done the revision of 4 marks question and scientific reason. So today we will do the revision of 2 marks questions and 1 marks questions. Means answer the following questions in short, which are 2 marks, and it will come 5 questions will be there, so it will carry 10 marks. Right. Now, so in this we will beginning from the first question, that is, and in this the chapters are 9, 10th and 11th. So we will begin from the first chapter. State the names of animals and plants that are found in mountain region. So we have to give the names of plants and animals which are found in mountain regions. So animal found in mountain regions are snow leopard, yak, goat, mountain goat, etc. So these are the animals which found in mountain region. For example, snow leopard, mountain goat, yak, etc. And plants found in mountain region are oak, pine tree, deodar tree, etc. Right. So these are the plants and animals found in mountain region. Now the second question we have, state the names of animals and plants that are found in desert region. Desert region. So animals found in desert region are camel, kangaroo, rat, snake, musk deer, etc. So these are the animals found in desert region, and the plants which are found in desert region are babul, acacia, date, palm, cactus, etc. So these are the plants and animals found in mountain region. Desert region. Now the third question is, how do whales and dolphin breathe? See, we have studied in the chapter that the animals live in water, they breathe through gill. So as we know that dolphin and whales do not have breath. So how do they breathe? By which organ they breathe? So, whales and dolphins do not have gills, they breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes, and that are located on the upper part of their heads. Means whales and dolphins do not have gills, so they have blowholes, or it is said as nostril or blowholes, and that is located on the upper part of the head. See, and this allows them to breathe in air when they swim near the surface of water. See, it is located on the upper part of the hair, and it can breathe when they are swimming on the surface of water. They cannot breathe when they are swimming in water, or we can say they cannot use oxygen which is dissolved in water. They can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. See, they can stay inside water without breathing for a long time. They come out to the surface from time to time to breathe in air. So if they want to breathe, they will come out on the surface of the water and they will breathe air. And as we have seen some dolphins coming out of the oceans and seas, we have seen in the movies and pictures, right? And in some geographical, we have seen that dolphins comes out to breathe in. Now the next question is, what are adaptation in animals living in mountain regions? So what are adaptation animals living in mountain region? In mountain region, how do animal adapt in mountain region? So which are the characteristics which help them to adapt in mountain region? Adaptation in animals living in mountain regions are as follows. First, they have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. They have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. They have thick skin or fur which protect them from cold. For example, yaks have long hairs to keep them warm. See, yak which is living in mountain region, they have long hair to keep their body warm, and snow leopard has thick fur on its body including feet and toes. Snow leopard has thick fur on its body including toes. So this protects its feet and body from the cold when it walks on snow. Now the third point, the mountain goat has strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountain. It has strong hooves. Mountain goat has strong hooves, so it can climb it easily the rocks. Right. So these are the features of the animals living in mountain regions, which helps them to adapt that condition. We have discussed about yak, snow leopard and mountains. Yak has hair which protect them from cold, and snow leopard has fur including toes and feet, as well as we have seen that mountain goat has strong hooves which helps to climb the rocks. Now state what adaptation of a lion helped him as a predator. What helped the lion as a predator? What adaptation helped a lion as a predator? Now see, the following adaptation of a lion help him as a predator. A lion lives in a forest or a grassland, and it is a strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer. See, lion lives in grassland or forest, and it is a strong animal. It can kill animals like deer and some small animals. Right. So this is the one point. Its light brown color helps it to hide in dry grassland when it hunts for prey. See, if he wants to hunt it, first it will hide in the dry grassland. So its color helps to hide in dry grasslands. And the third point, it's the eyes in front of the face allow it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. The eyes in front of the face, it has the eyes in front of his face which allow it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. Right. So these are the points which help as a predator, which help him as a predator. The next question is, what are the adaptation found in deer living in grassland? See, we have seen that deer lives in a grassland. So what are the features that helps him to live in grasslands? The adaptation found in deer as follows. It has strong teeth for chewing hard stems of the forest plants. See, deer eats plants, right? So it has strong teeth to chew the hard stem of the forest plants. A deer needs to know about the presence of predator in order to run away from them. See, it should know the presence of predator, means where is the predator. So for that them and not become their prey, so it has long ears to hear movements of predators. So it has long ears to hear movements of predators. The next point is, its eyes are on the side of its face which allow it to look in all direction for predator. It has the eyes side of its face which allow it to look in all direction for predator. And the next point is, the speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. It has the speed so which can run fast and escape from the predator, right? So these are the features which can survive in grassland. Which are the features we have seen? It has strong teeth which can helps it for chewing hard stem of the plants, and it has eyes. Their eyes are on the side of its face, so which allow to look in all the direction, and it has long ears which can have the correct idea about the predators, it has long ears to hear movements of predators. And then the last point, the speed of the predators help them to run away from the predator. Now the next question is, seventh question we have, State the features of living organisms. The features of living organisms are: living organisms has the following features. They need food. Second, they grow. Third, they respire. Fourth, they respond to stimuli. Fifth, they move. Sixth, they excrete. Seventh, they reproduce. Okay, so state the features. What are the features of the living organisms? All the living organisms need food, they grow, they respire, they respond to stimuli, and see, one features it is not common in all living organism, that is they move, because as we know that plants cannot move from place to place, but they respond to the atmosphere, right? The movement responds to the atmosphere. And next is they excrete, they reproduce. Rest all the features are common in all living organisms. So these are the features in common in living organism. Which are the features of living organism? Need food, grow, respire, response to stimuli, they move, and excrete, they reproduce, right? And the next question is the floating cloud in the sky a biotic or an abiotic component, and why? Floating in the sky is abiotic due to the following reasons. See, clouds has some features which have living organisms, we can say, but then also it is non-living. Why? Because see, it goes from place to place. Clouds move from place to place due to the action of wind. It cannot move by itself and it cannot move its own, right? This is not the features of living organisms. This is not the features of living organisms. It cannot move by its own. It is moving with the help of wind. And second point, it does not grow, respire, eat, it cannot reproduce either. It cannot reproduce, eat, or grow. So this is the reason why cloud floating is a abiotic component. Is the floating cloud sky abiotic or an abiotic? So due to this reason, this is non-living thing and it is a abiotic component, right? Now the next question we have is ninth one. Is a train living or non-living? Give reason in support of your answer. Is a train living or non-living? See, train has some features which living organism has. For example, it moves from place to place. See, train is non-living due to the reasons. Train goes from one place to another. It does so by consuming fuel. It cannot go from one place to another by its own. See, train moves by consuming fuel, means it needs food as a fuel, but it is not moving by its own. It does not grow with time like living organisms do. It does not require food. It cannot reproduce. Hence train moves, but then it is to non-living thing. Now the next question we have is give 2 points of difference between plants and animals. So we have to give 2 points of each plants and animals. See, plants cannot move from place to place. In the same way we can say animals can move from place to place by its own. Second point is plants can prepare food by its own. In the same way animals cannot prepare food by its own. So these are the 2 points difference between plants and animals. And the next question we have is 11th one. Give 2 points of difference between respiration and photosynthesis. See, respiration process takes place in both plants and animals. And photosynthesis process takes place only in plants only. Photosynthesis takes place only in plants. And oxygen is observed and carbon dioxide is released in this process. Means in respiration, oxygen is observed and carbon dioxide is released. While in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is observed and oxygen is released. So these are the 2 points difference between photosynthesis and respiration. Now the next question we have, we cannot measure the length of an object by using hand and footstep. Explain. See, the length of hand and footstep vary from person to person. Hence, see, if you take length of the hand span and footstep, these are the body parts, right? And if you will take person to person hand span footstep, it is vary, it is not same length. So hence the measurement of same object when taken by different people will be different. Means if you take measurement with the help of hand span, and if another person is taking the measurement of the hand span, the measurement will be different because the length of body organs are not same. Now the next question is, why is standard, means universal unit of length needed? See, if there is, as we know that if there is no universal length, then suppose we are measuring over here, and if you measure in another place, that will be different. So for that, universal length is needed. So the answer is, in ancient time people were using different body organs such as fingers, hand span, hand, fist, etc. to measure the length of any object. The people were using these body organs. The length of all these units are different from person to person. The standard measurement do not change from person to person, so it is needed. See, if you take standard measurement, do you think it is different from person to person? No. If you have taken the measurement with scale, and if it is 15 centimeters, so if you will any person will measure that length of that object, it will be 15 only, because standard measurement never change. So universal unit of length is needed. How will you measure the length of a pencil using a scale whose zero end is broken? Okay, so the question is, how will you measure the length of a pencil whose scale, whose zero end is broken? If zero is broken, then how will you measure? To measure the length of a pencil whose zero end is broken, so we will place one end of the pencil at mark 1 and note down the mark on other end of the pencil falls on scale. Then we will subtract 1 from the reading. Means if zero end is broken, then we will start to take the reading from 1 mark and we will subtract 1 from the reading. In the same way, if 0 and 1 is broken, then we will start the reading from 2 and we will subtract 2 from the reading. Which unit of length do we use in our daily life? Give relation between them. See, meter is the standard unit of length that we use in our daily life. Meter is the standard unit which we use in daily life, and units of length that are smaller than meter are centimeter, millimeter, and kilometer is the bigger unit than meter. So these are the units which we are using in our daily life, and relationship between them are 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, and 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. So these are the units we use in our daily life. Give to example each of modes of transport used on land, water and air. So the next question is example we have to give of transport used on land, water and air. See, modes of transports used on land are bus and train. Modes of transports on water are ship and boat. Modes of transport on air are aeroplane and helicopter. Now give two example of periodic motion and circular motion. So periodic motion, motion of hands of a clock, motion of pendulum, and circular motions are motion of child sitting on a merry-go-round, motion of hands of a clock. See, in this you can give any other example also which shows the periodic motion, right? So for example, if you can write the periodic motions, a child on a swing, child on a seashore, these are the example of periodic motion. So you can write any example of periodic motion and any example of circular motion. Now the next question is how shadow is formed. See, as we know that light travels in a straight line. So light always travels in a straight line. If an opaque object comes in the path of the ray or comes in the path of the light cannot pass through the opaque object. The light cannot pass through the opaque object and shadow is formed. How shadow is formed? As we know that light travels in a straight line, when an opaque object comes in between the ray of the light, a shadow is formed because light cannot pass through an opaque object. What do you mean by source of light? State its type giving example. See, the object which gives its own light are called source of light, and example are, see, there are two types of source of lights: natural source of light. Examples are sun, stars and fireflies, and artificial source of light. Examples are torch, candle, bulb, etc. In this also you can give many more examples, right? So what do you mean by source of light? The object which give its own light. And how many types of source of lights are there? Natural and artificial. So in natural you can write sun, stars, fireflies, and artificial torch, candle and bulb. We cannot write moon in natural because moon does not give light, it reflects the light of the sun. Make sure that. And the next question is, give 2 points difference between transparent and opaque object. See, transparent object allowed to pass light through it. In the same way, opaque objects does not allow to pass light through it. And second point is, air, pure water, spectacle lens, clear plastic, etc. are example of transparent object. In the same way, if you will take mirror, pencil, milk, brick, wall, etc. are example of opaque object. Give 2 points of difference between shadow and image. Shadow. When opaque object comes in the path of light, a shadow is formed, and image is the reflection of an object. What is the image? It is an reflection of the object. Shadow does not give all details of an object. See, from shadow we cannot identify the object, but through image we can identify the object. Means image give all the details of an object. Dear students, these were the 2 marks questions. So from this 21 questions, any 5 will come and you have to give the answers, right? And each carries 2 marks. Now we will do the revision of 1 marks questions. And 1 marks questions are of 6 marks. So there will be 6 questions, 1 mark each. So first questions we have, what do rats and snakes do to escape the intense heat during the day? See, as we have studied in the chapter that in desert there is excess heat is there, intense heat is there. So, and snakes and rats lives in desert. So, to escape the intense heat, what do rats and snakes do? So, rats and snakes stay in deep burrows in sand. They goes deep in sand and to escape intense heat during the day. So, they stay whole day in burrows in sand. The next question, what type of trees are found in mountain region? So, which type of trees found in mountain regions? Trees like cone shape, slopy branches, needle like leaves are found in mountain regions. Which features of snow leopard protects its feet from the cold when it walks on the snow? Snow leopard has thick fur on its body, including feet, toes, to protect its feet from the cold when it walks on the snow. So it has fur on its feet, so which helps to walk on the snow. What adaptation do the stems of aquatic plants have? Stems of aquatic plants are long, hollow and light. They grow up the surface of water. See, they grow up the surface of water. Stems plants have long, hollow and light. They grow up to the surface of water. Which gas is observed and released during the process of photosynthesis? During the process of photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. During process photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. What adaptation do the leaves of desert plants have? So, desert plants have very less number leaves and very small, either small or in less in number and transformed into spines to reduce water loss by transpiration. Means the desert plants have leaves which are less, very less, or it is either transformed into spine or very small leaves, so that it can not lose water through transpiration process. Now the next question we have, what adaptation in the feet of the frog help it to swim in water? So which type of adaptation frog has which help to swim in water? Frogs have webbed feet which help them to swim in water. Frogs have webbed feet. List the types of terrestrial habitats. List the types of terrestrial habitats: forest, grassland, deserts, coastal regions and mountain regions. So these are the types of terrestrial habitats. List the type of aquatic habitats: ponds, lakes, rivers, oceans, etc. are the types of aquatic habitats. Give an example of rectilinear motion. See, moving of a car is an example of rectilinear motion. You can give any one example. So you can write any example which shows the rectilinear motion. For example, soldiers on a parade, a moving car or moving bike. Right? An object which moves along a straight path is known as rectilinear motion. Now, what kind of motion is performed by ball rolling on ground? Ball rolling on the ground performs rotational as well as rectilinear motion because it goes straight and it is rotating also. So it performs both the motion at a time, rotational as well as rectilinear motion. What kind of motion is performed by hands of a clock? See, hands of a clock perform circular as well as periodic motion because it is moving in a circular path and it is moving in a regular interval. So periodic motion also, it performs periodic motion also. In ancient time, what did people used to measure the length? The next question is, in ancient time, people used the body organs like fingers, handspan, cubit, foot, feet, fist, etc. to measure length. So in ancient time, people used different body organs such as handspan, finger, cubit, foot, etc. Now the next question we have is, which device does a cloth merchant use to measure clothes? See, when we are going to buy clothes at a merchant shop, which device they use? They use meter rod. They use meter rod made up of steel. What do you mean by luminous object? Object that emits its own light are called luminous objects. See, what is the meaning of luminous object? Object that gives its own light are called luminous object. Give 3 examples of natural luminous objects. Sun, stars and fireflies are natural luminous object. Now next question is, give 3 examples of artificial luminous object. So candle, tube light, torch, artificial luminous object. These are the artificial luminous object. Now state the important astronomical phenomena occurring due to shadow. So solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse are astronomical phenomena occurring due to shadow. What do we see the objects? How do we see the objects? See, when light falls on the objects, that light reflects and enters our eyes. We are able to see the object. When light falls on any object, it gets reflected and it enters in our eyes. How is light abstracted? When opaque object comes in between light, it abstracted. How is light abstracted? When opaque object comes in between light, it is abstracted. Which object cannot form shadow? So transparent object cannot form shadow. So these are the questions of one sentence. And we have one sentence 6 questions. It will come in exam and each carries 1 mark. So today we have done the revision of 2 marks and 1 marks. Now we have remained one word, fill in the blanks, true or false and MCQs. So we will do revision in the next video. Thank you.